What's that item inside your computer that sits there all day and stores everything that you have in there? That's right, it's your hard drive. Hard drives have been around for a very long time, and boy are they useful. They sit inside your computer and store everything from your operating system to your music. Hard drives also fall in the category of secondary devices. Secondary storage also includes your removable devices, such as your flash drives, and also CDs, which are optical drives. Hard drives also have another category. They also fall in the category of magnetic drives. And magnetic drives have some awesome properties. Let's take a look. They store data in disks, such as this one. They have tracks and gaps in between them. They also have sectors like that one over there. Now let's take a floppy as an example. A floppy only has one disk, by the way. However, most hard drives have more than that. It has a double-sided disk with magnetic material, 80 tracks per side with 18 sectors, 512 bytes of data per sector of each track. And we do some calculation on it, we get a huge amount of bytes, but after taking away some for managing files, we get 1.44 megabytes, which is not much at all. Now let's talk about actually writing to the hard drive. This is actually a really cool subject. Data is written using packets like this one. It has an address, then you have the raw data in binary, and finally a gap. And because these are magnetic drives, you have magnets, and you need 2 magnets per bit, and it switches in the next bit, like so. Because of this, you need a different method of approaching zeros and ones. If the magnets are the same, you have a 0, otherwise it's a 1. Now what about actually writing it? Well, it uses an electromagnet, kind of like this one. It turns out that if you reverse the current flow, the polarity switches with it, so now you can write both zeros and ones. But if you think that's cool, things get even cooler. Well, let's say you go to your notepad program and you type in an A. Well, the A you store here is actually a lot different from what you see. It's actually stored in machine code like this. And this is written using 8 bits, which is equal to 1 byte. Now if we were to save this file on our hard drive, we could see its properties. Let's look at its properties right now. The first thing you'll notice is that the size is 1 byte, like it was obvious. However, the size on the disk is way bigger. So what happened? This brings us to our topic of clusters. They're basically the minimum size of a file. And you have a 4 kilobyte chunk, though this is different for every operating system. In this case, we're going with a 4 kilobyte chunk. You have 1 byte in there, and you can fill up to 4 kilobytes. So if you had a 4 kilobyte file, this would fill nicely into that 4 kilobyte chunk of data. But if you were to have slightly more than that, let's say you added 1 byte to this data, then you can no longer fit into that cluster. You need a new cluster to fill that 1 byte in. But if that's weird to you, just wait till you hear this. The clusters don't necessarily have to be next to each other. They can be all over the place in different disks. This is called fragmentation, where things are fragmented all over. This is why running a defragmenter makes your computer run more smoothly and your hard drive runs better. Now let's talk about saving data in other ways. This brings us to RAID. RAID stands for Redundant Array of Independent Drives. Though some people also like saying inexpensive drives. There are a couple different types of RAID. However, we'll talk about a couple of them, starting with RAID level 0. Those 2 black ones are the RAID drives, and the one up top is your default drive. Let's put in some example data A, B, C, D. Now RAID level 0 is also called striping, since you put A in one side and B on the other. Now this is happening at the same time. However, in this example, I made it at different times for clarity. Now this is really good for performance. However, if you lose one drive, you lose all your data, which is why this is probably not one of my favorites. If you want to back up data, RAID level 1 is probably one of your best choices. If you choose RAID level 1, you are doing mirroring. So whatever you do on one drive goes to the other. And this is happening at the same time, so this is super fast mirroring. For our next example, RAID level 5, we need to put our data into this rectangle up above because we'll run out of space otherwise. Let's get rid of that circle and put these drives like this, and now we are at RAID level 5. Let's change the ABCD to binary with zeros and ones, and let's also add 2 more bits at the end. RAID level 5 uses normal striping, however it also introduces a parity bit, which I'll explain. So you have a 0 and 1 there. If you add them together, you get 1. If you add one more, you make it even. So we need to put a 1 inside the third drive. Basically what we want to do is we want to make it even, like this. 1 plus 0 is 1, so we need to add a 1. And finally, the 2 ones up there will come down. 1 plus another 1 equals 2. So all we need to store is a 0 over there. This is very useful for backing up, because if you lose a drive, the other 2 can be analyzed and you can get back using the parity bits that have been stored. Alright, so that's it for this video. If you like this video, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe, and see you next time.